So I asked a lot of these questions from the morning, right? Do you like it? Do you work on this thing, etc.? It's very hard to remember all these questions and answers, right? So let's say I want to create new query and use the tables available there, select star from questions. There's nothing there, and select star from answer choices. There's nothing there either, right? Two tables, but you can see that there are just 3 columns there. And the idea is like, I ask a lot of questions to you. Do you know this? Do you know that, etc.? Are you working on this, etc.? It's very hard to maintain this information on my head, right? What if you can have an engine or poll which you can use to enter these values? Like for example, this is something that we built on Entity Framework and MVC3. So this is something where you can go online and vote for the sessions today, right? Just that I have to change the speakers for some of the sessions, but you can actually go today and register for this site and vote there. This is built out of MVC3 and Code First, so you can actually go and check out this sample there. The source code is not available yet there. We can talk about the terms later about the source code. So as of now, you just have access to the application for free. You can register and then go and give the vote for this, right? Right, so this is the database I have, and I want to quickly create this there. So the M here is the model, obviously, right? Model will come from my ADO.NET entity model. So I can say I want to use a data template, which is entity model for me, and I just leave the default name called as model1.edmx. What it does is that it gives me 2 options: generate from database, which is what I want to do now, and I can connect to my database, which is called as poll. I think it's called poll, I think. Yeah, I'll go for poll basically. So I think I'll use poll and repeat the same 2 queries. Probably I have some answers already. Let me run this here. Yeah, I have some samples already, so I have some questions already. So I'll use poll and I'll use this connection string, and it's now retrieving my database tables. I think you have seen this already, so I'm quickly going through this. It's finding out that I have 2 tables called as questions and answer choices, and I have done with my model, right? So it's showing me the 2 tables there, answers and question choices there. But when you go here and find out this, what is created here, EDMX, this is the design file, right? But when you go to the code file here, let's just see what's happening here. There are 2 things created here. One is the entities for the classes, and then the context, which is holding all this value there. And it's doing hell a lot of work here, if you see here. If you go here and open the factory methods, if you open the EDM file there, if you open navigation property, it's actually generated a lot of code for you automatically, right? So for example, if you want to open the partial methods available, if you want to find out what are all the methods there, that's like number of lines of code increases there. And this is good if you are working on a complex scenario where you have a RIA services front end, you have a ASP.NET MVC application running there, you have a service layer in between. All this is good because this has to do the persistence of data across different layers, right? And it has to do all this work there. But mine is a simple database table, right? Only 2 tables. All I require is a questions table and an answer choice table, that's all. So for that, this is actually a lot of work there. And the idea of Entity Framework 4.1 is to simplify this process. So how do I do that? So right click here and then I can say add code generation item. There is a new template called as ADO.NET DB context generator. You will get to see this DB context quite frequently because there are 2 things newly in Entity Framework 4.1, DB context and DB set. Right? If you skip this part and see what's here holding everything tightly together here is the object context. The object context is something that generically derives from system.data. So if you just step into this, go to definition, it actually designs from system.data.objects. It's a very generic object for holding any set of database records. It can hold multiple database tables, it can hold multiple databases itself and do a lot of work there and do persistence, storage, etc. But what we want to do is simplify this process. So when you say right click and then say add code generation item, it gives you this new template called as ADO.NET DB context generator, right? And then again I leave the default name called as model1 and click on add. So you'll notice 2 things there. 1, it creates a couple of files, and 2, I'll quickly show that to you. So it's done its work. So when I build this now, it has done a couple of work. It has created a context file. Like all the Entity Framework requires a context. It needs to be a context where it holds all the information. That's the context file it created there. And also it created a couple of class files now. Question is a class file which has got ID, question text attributes, and answer choice is again a class file which has got a couple of whiles there. And then this one is wiped out. EDMX code that was there, all the chunk of code is removed now because it's thinking that it needs to be simplified into simple classes now. right? So everything is gone here now. There's nothing there in the EDMX file there. This is a much simpler way of representing your data model, right? So once that is there, I can go and create my own controller here. So when I say add controller, I can give this a name, questions controller, and this is going to be coming from model class called as question, which is the class file, and the data context class for this is going to be poll entities, right? And when I do add, what it's doing currently is that it's taking up the class name and it's taking up the context name and generating all the options for me. It is doing creating of create, update, delete views and also creating the controller file for me. So it has done that. You can see there is questions controller, which does a bunch of things. Index will get a list of all the questions. Details will go into each question and use this property called as .find by ID. That's what you see here, right? And then it does a lot of other things like save, edit, etc. options, which are default values that you want to do there, right? So it has done the questions there. Similarly, if I want to do it for answers, add controller, I want to give this a name answer choices. And this is going to be coming from the model class called answer choice. And it remembers the old entry called as poll entities there, right? So that's the entity framework model for me. So when you work with entity framework, you require two things. You require a class which has the attributes like integer, value, all these things there, and also a context which will store this